You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to the second half of the Factor Uncensored. When Texas passed its controversial abortion law last year, big companies like Uber, Apple, Amazon, Lyft showed support by offering ways to still help women seeking abortions. But now that the Supreme Court could overturn Roe v. Wade, what does that mean for all those promises once made to women?
Again, there are two types of considerations for employers: those that are providing medical care, that is travel to, lodging, and other expenses related to medical procedures that may include abortion as related to comorbidities, type 1 diabetes, ectopic pregnancies, etc. And then companies like Uber, where there were sort of translations in the law where potentially someone taking you to a Planned Parenthood location would be liable to the state authorities for criminal and civil penalties simply for transporting you when it no more than a pizza. Some people like pineapple on their pizzas, right? And I think that's criminal, but other people don't mind it. And so in this case, Uber drivers taking someone to a medical procedure would then be charged with understanding what that medical procedure entailed and ensuring against pregnancy under certain permutations of state law in southern states. So it was a big challenge, and a lot of these larger companies that are trying to attract younger workers, smarter, educated workers are saying, we want to protect you. And so they were insulating legally, but then also on the internal side saying, we're going to cover this medical procedure, what even up to and including abortion, regardless of what this state says. There are 50 of them. We got a couple of territories, Puerto Rico and so forth. So there was an understanding that these companies were going to look out for their workers and their worker interests over a particular state or governor's policy.
Now, will we see many of these companies back away from that policy? Because we're talking about potentially the overturning of Roe versus Wade if this draft proves to be true. So we're talking about maybe 20 plus states where it's almost virtually people expecting a ban on abortion outright. Will you see these companies still providing for these employees even if they overturn Roe v. Wade?
I believe so. And the reality is you can still move even with an overturning. That doesn't necessarily mean, with that 10th Amendment regression to the states, that doesn't mean that you're going to be prosecuted for transporting individuals to other states to handle their medical needs up to and including abortion. Also, we know money drives politics, whether it be Bloomberg, Soros, or Zuckerberg. That's the hot topic. And so these companies are going to put a lot of money into switching the electoral representatives when those representatives have pleaded for companies like Tesla to come to Texas, pleaded with United to stay in Texas, and they didn't. They went to Chicago, right? We pleaded for these companies to keep their headquarters, manufacturing centers, and other employment nexus in our states, and then we're going to slap them in the face and say no. They're going to say, well, we can move back to where we were. We can move back to California and retain our workers. So I think
and a good example right now is there's some business owners and landowners who are trying to get Twitter here, and they're offering Elon Musk like 100 acres of land absolutely free. So why would you court them and bring them here and then, like you said, slap them in the face and go against them when they're trying to help their employees?
Absolutely, because the workers make the company. The computers don't run themselves yet. We've all seen Terminator, but we're not there yet. So until that day, if workers say this is an infringement, particularly conservative, right? This is often highlighted in a Democrat-Republican issue, but conservatives generally don't like government intruding on your body. We saw this with vaccinations. So you're going to have 80% of the population saying, we don't want you, even if you overturn Roe v. Wade, we don't want you to then take that as a permission to then regulate our bodies, whether it be vaccinations, whether it be abortions, or whatever. And so companies that are on the front end of this, who are proactive and say, we're not going to deal with this, and if you happen to live in a state where they create overly restrictive covenants, we're going to fly you wherever you need to be. And if they keep pushing it, we're going to take our headquarters elsewhere. People fly to Orlando. We don't live in Orlando. We go there for Disney World. We go to California for Disneyland. So we can travel to Iowa, we can travel to Nebraska, we can hop on a plane wherever Disney World or Disneyland is and still enjoy those rides.
Hopefully Disney World comes to Houston, or at
Right?
least part of
KP George.
Texas. Dr. Dietrich von Wiedenfeld from the University of Houston downtown. Always good to see you, sir.
Thank you, sir.